1.0, opening a meeting, 6:45 PM. Do we have any requests for interpretation? I can't see why. Pretty sure the answer is no. Okay. Okay. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. Adrian Mejia. Alice Lopez. Merced Zamora.
Here.
John Alvarez.
Here.
Freddie Espinoza.
Here.
Sabrina Gomez. Here. Please stand for the flag salute.
Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. 4.0, adoption of agenda. 4.1, adoption of the agenda is requested as presented, including the addendums.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora.
Yes.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, 5-0. 5.0, consent calendar. 5.1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes for April 14, 2026.
Motion.
I have a motion by Merced Zamora and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I oppose. I abstain. 4-0-1. 4-1.
Abstain.
Abstain. 5.2, approval of release warrants dated April 9th, 2026 in the amount of $348,935.84. April 16th, 2026 in the amount of $725,864.
Motion.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 6.0, awards, presentations. 6.1, student board member report. Okay. I have my glasses.
Well, you know what, Adrian, go ahead and step back over to your seat. I think Dr. Gonzalez would like to do it whenever it's 11.0, high school business.
Okay, so we're gonna wait?
Yep.
Okay.
Do your curveball.
6.2, College of the Sequoias update by Dr. Brent Calvin, COS President, Superintendent. It's go time.
Okay, we good here? Let's see. There we go, perfect. Well, thank you so much. And Alice, I apologize. I was thinking you were the president this year, and it's Sabrina. So my apologies to both of you. Great to be back. Sometimes I can barely get in here. And so it's kind of nice to have a little less crowded space. Although normally when it's crowded, it's because there's cookies in here. So Emmanuel, we want cookies next year,
Got
okay,
it.
man?
Make sure it
Come on,
happens.
man. Open up that wallet of yours and
Hey, we got it. We got 100 years of COS history. We'll make sure we get 100 cookies.
there you go. I don't need 100. Well, thank you for carving out a little bit of time for me. We are celebrating 100 years. After my brief presentation, I have a 2 or 3 minute video where we've spliced in some of the old footage from the 50s and 60s with the new. It's kind of new. You've all seen the wooden giant we have in front of our campus. It talks about how we brought the lumber down and carved out that giant. So it's cool. But let me get through a few slides first. The first is, our board. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Macaneno joined us, and if he doesn't, he's going to be disappointed. It must have slipped his mind because he never misses these presentations. But then we've got John, Ken, Connie, and Greg actually just retired last month, replaced by Bob Aguilar. Many of you know Bobby's dad, Dr. Aguilar, was in education for 4 or 5 decades. Bobby is a trained attorney, but was also the principal at Mount Whitney High School in Visalia. So he just joined our board. I think he's going to be very, very successful. A few good news items. We did clear accreditation. We're good for another 8 years. The neat thing about this go-around was we got a specific accommodation for our participatory governance process, which is big with the ACCJC. And if you recall, 15 years ago or so, we had a little accreditation hiccup, and it was around that issue. So to be able to come back now and have 2 successful runs at it, and then be commended for the way we do something that they used to kind of slap us on the hand about, it was really, really a kind of a full circle for us, and so we're good for another 8 years. So excited about that. We were also ranked by the College Futures Association as the #1 regional return on investment for colleges and universities. That's the valley from Bakersfield to Stockton. And #6 statewide. What they do is they take the cost of an education at the College of the Sequoias and then compare it to the earnings, the average earnings of our graduates. And they came up with #1 regionally and #6 statewide. We were just talking about the University Center. We just broke ground on it last Thursday. Really, really excited. I think this is going to transform the way higher ed is delivered in Tulare and Kings County. Students won't have to go to Fresno or Bakersfield or even further to complete a 4-year degree. They can come right across the street and complete their 4-year degree, even their teacher credential, and then a couple of different master's degrees. So we're excited about that. Wanted to include just a few renderings of what it's going to look like. You may have seen these last year. This is the view from Tulare and Mooney. 3 more from different directions. Here's the lobby shot. You can see we're not messing around. This will feel like you're on like Fresno State's campus. If we're gonna ask our students to stay here locally, like it should be as nice as anywhere else they're gonna go to, and this definitely will be. In addition to that, we're adding a student union kind of at the same time. We're gonna break ground on a student union 2 months from now. Yeah, I think mid-June we're gonna break ground on this. It'll be done for the summer of 2028 as well. 4 restaurants on the first floor, a marketplace, a bookstore on the first floor. Second floor will be a veteran center, student success program, EOPS, equal opportunity programs and services, and then student activities and affairs. That'll all be upstairs. A lot of people don't know it, but COS is the #1 average per day revenue generator for food services. About $22,000 a day. The next closest is, I believe, Visalia's Texas Roadhouse at about 18 or 19,000. And you know they stay open a lot longer than we do, and they serve alcohol. We don't. So we serve a lot of meals to students. We try to keep it reasonably priced so students can afford to eat on our campus, and we figure if we can keep them on campus, they're more likely to go to office hours, to the library, to those kinds of things. If they leave campus and go to In-N-Out Burger, they're gone. We're not getting them back that day. So we've invested a lot in our restaurants, and you can see kind of this is what it's going to look like. That's one of the restaurants right there. Here's another view. This is the existing building on that same corner, though, the Educational Support Services Building. I've shown you this in the past. This is where all of our tutorial, writing center, math lab, that's where it's all located. It's a great facility. Together, those 2 buildings I just showed you with the existing Educational Support Services Building, it's going to be like a mini version of Fresno State or Cal State Bakersfield and beyond. I think students will really enjoy getting their 4-year degrees in Visalia. We also opened last January the Applied Technology and Trades Complex. This houses several different CTE programs. You see several of them down there at the bottom. Automotive technology, construction technology, HVAC, industrial automation or robotics, industrial maintenance, electrical training, mechanized ag technology, and then one of those buildings is strictly for welding. And we've had that, so we just built on to what we already had. We had welding down the right-hand side of that picture, and then we added 3 more buildings for the rest. Really a special place. Large classrooms, shops on one end of every classroom, and then more of a classroom setting on the other. So about the time that you start losing your students during a lecture, you take them back and show them an engine, or you start monkeying around with something. It really is a special way to deliver content. So we're excited about that, and those programs are packed. They were impacted from day one. So excited to offer that. We're just finishing our 3rd semester, and it's booming out there on our Tulare campus. And then finally, if you haven't visited the Sequoia Stadium, you should. We offer football and men and women's soccer on the pitch there. And then in the big picture of the field, you can see our field house in the background there. That's where we have men and women's basketball and volleyball. And if you come out to a game, you're going to leave with a whole bunch of knowledge about other programs, because we invested in that scoreboard specifically for the video capabilities. So we brainwash you. You come for a football game and you hear about engineering and nursing and all those CTE programs. We really want the people that never step foot on our campus, with the exception of for a football game or a soccer match, we want them to leave with a better understanding of what their community college offers. And that video board helps us to do that. Okay, I'm going to transition here to some data on our shared students. First of all, thank you for trusting us with your students. It's not a responsibility that we take lightly. These students, every single one of our students has choices. They can go anywhere they want to. They can go to COS, but they can also go to Reedley, West Hills, Porterville. They can go directly to 4-year universities. They can go online. And I appreciate every single one of our students, and I thank the districts that kind of shepherd them our way. And I want you to believe in what we're doing at COS, and know that we're doing our very best to get them in and out in 2 years, and either into a transfer program or into a career. This first slide just shows the number of Farmersville students that we have taking our classes, and this year was about the high water mark. You see that the last 3 falls have been right in the 330s, and that encompasses about 90 first-time students. That's high school seniors that come directly to us. We've got about 180 continuing students. We've got some returning students that have dropped out for one reason or another and then come back to us. And then we've got just a handful of transfers. Those are students maybe that went to Fresno State and have come back. And then that bottom line is the dual or concurrently enrolled students. The second one is something that we track. It's not the most exciting stat that you'll see here, but we track it pretty closely, and it kind of goes back to one of the reasons that we offer as many food choices as we do. I talked about keeping students on campus. We've got 300 or 400 student jobs on our campus. We have a vibrant arts program, choir and band and drama, and we have athletics. It's all geared towards trying to keep students on campus longer. And I get that students have to work. That's a reality. But the more we can do to kind of come alongside them, we offer, I think, upwards of $40 or $45 million in financial aid. The more we can do to keep students as close to full time as possible, the better off they're going to be. And so this is just why we track this. You can see about this past fall, it was 52%. That was down from 68% last fall. So if there is a message for outgoing seniors, it's hey, try to get 12 units or more. Be a full financial aid qualifier, first of all, and partake in the various support programs that the college has. Then you can see down at the bottom, you can see all the different majors that your students are partaking in. Lots of liberal arts majors. Look at that, 76 in the liberal arts health sciences. I gotta believe that's a whole bunch of teachers, potential teachers for the district down the road. The next item is again something that we track and you should be proud of. 87% of your first-time students were placed directly into transfer level English, and that's huge. As you know, many of us, when we came through college, many of us got placed a level or two below transfer level English. So we had to fight our way through a non-transfer class, at least one, to get to transfer level English. And now just the way it's set up, and as long as the high school district is doing a good job, which you guys are, look at that. I mean, 9 out of every 10 students are coming to us prepared for transfer level English. The other 13% would also be able to get into transfer level English, but they'd have to have a required support class, 1 hour a week, where you're going over what was learned that week, and you're also kind of getting a little preview of what's in store the following week, and that's a good thing too. And just because the 87% don't have to take that class, it's available to them if they want to. They want to invest an extra hour a week, they can do it, and take that extra support class. This is a very promising slide. That's the course success rate. The last 2 years, high water mark at 76%. That's district-wide. That's a very good number, and you see kind of how it's increased over the years. Coming out of COVID, it was in the low to mid 60s, and now it's back up over 75%. That's fabulous. And then you look down below, we've kind of disaggregated it by gender. Guys, I'm sorry, but the females, they always beat us. I do 15 of these a year, and the females always beat us. I don't know what it is. They're always more successful than we are. Maybe their brain just develops faster. But boys or men or women, boys or girls, they're all doing great. And then you see we have it disaggregated by ethnicity down below, and those are also promising as well. And then finally, this is kind of the culminating slide. None of that stuff matters if we're not going somewhere with this. And you can see that last spring we almost hit our high water mark. We had 66 completers for a total of 102 degrees or certificates. Obviously, there's some students that will get multiple degrees or multiple certificates, or one of each. And then down the left-hand side, you can see what they were majoring in. And again, it runs the gamut. It's not just one area. There's a kind of a wide swath of majors that the Aztecs are majoring in. So overall, I think it's a fabulous report and a testament to the nice job that you as a board and your faculty and staff are doing here in Farmersville. Happy to answer any questions you might have, and then once we're done with that, I'll advance it one more slide and we'll watch a little movie. 2 minutes later. Any questions for me?
I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate the big interest you take in our students and be successful.
Yeah, likewise, definitely appreciate the partnership you guys have with Farmersville. Both my wife and I are recipients of COS with the nursing program, and myself transferring out, which it wasn't for COS, it would have been very hard to go to Ford University if that wasn't there for me.
Hey, me too, Merced. I went to COS, and who knows, I probably would have been digging ditches without
Yeah,
COS.
definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I see it firsthand. My granddaughter graduated last year. She's got a degree, and now she's in Northridge.
That's great.
As
How's
a
she doing?
junior, she's doing good.
Is she?
Yeah, she's on top of it, and
We got to get her back from the big city though, John. Don't let her stay down there.
well, she's put an internship for Disney, so we'll see what
See?
happens.
What happened?
Yeah, so
our age before we get her back.
Yeah, appreciate you though.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, I like the stats and everything you put together just for our district. So that way, I think we can take more pride in like our schools and seeing like how they transition into college and
Absolutely.
yeah, seeing those stats and stuff is amazing.
Absolutely. I should also mention, today we had, one of the school districts had a group of seventh graders on our campus, and they can take a guided tour. Today, I think the instructors have been out there so much, maybe they were former students, they were kind of guiding their students around, and that option's always open to you guys, whether you call ahead or not. So if, you know, for faculty and staff, Superintendent Mendez, if that makes sense for you guys, then please bring those little ones out and get them exposed to college early. I try to take my walks about mid-morning, and I just time it right a lot of times, and I bump into these groups of students, and I just love it because we're exposing these students to college early, and whether it's COS 10 years from now for them, or whether just that exposure to a community college got them thinking college, and now they go directly to UCLA. It doesn't matter to me. Like, we got plenty of students. Like, the more that go away, as long as we get them back, I'm happy. And so if that's something you guys want to do, then please encourage faculty and staff to do that. I'm sorry, Sabrina.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I advocate for COS. I encourage students to take classes, go if, you know, I'm around a lot of athletes, so I love watching the programs that you guys have, and you guys send kids off and you guys do what you're supposed to do. So I absolutely love COS, and I appreciate everything you guys do.
Appreciate that.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, ready for a quick video?
Mhm.
All right, let's see. Oh,
Go, Jay.
maybe I probably have to do this now.
I went to COS.
Am I supposed to click something? There's a play button right there in the middle.
You just got to say, "Go Giants."
Yeah, it's in vain. Okay. Oh, there it is. There we go. Everybody needs a good tech man. We got one here.
As president of the College of the Sequoias, it gives me pleasure to present this 5th edition of
Oh, here, I can probably make it bigger. Can you do the, If not, just let it play that smaller version. They can see it okay. At least we can hear it. That guy talking, that's Ivan Crookshanks. He was the president when I was going to school there. He had my job for 35 years. And that was a record, and he protected it. He didn't want anybody to break his record.
As president of the College of the Sequoias, it gives me pleasure to present this 5th edition of our college.
I think everybody could just see it well enough.
Mhm.
We're gonna have this part memorized.
As president of the College of the Sequoias, it gives me pleasure to present this 5th edition of our college film.
Here is where a sculptor lives. Weeks ago, he went high into the mountains to select his piece of wood. From this wood, a giant will be carved. A giant will be carved.
Congratulations and thank you, graduates.
First comes ideas. A model is made. Then cutting away the material he didn't need. then more planning, cutting away. Different tools for different tasks. Good tools.
You graduate with our affection, our respect, and most importantly, our pride in your achievements and your potential. We are deeply honored to have shared a part of your life and grateful for the part you have played in the life of this very special college. You are a giant forever.
A material out of this countryside, carved and placed to reflect the spirit of the people who live here.
This year, the College of the Sequoias will award over 3,600 degrees and certificates, the most ever in one single year. Congratulations to all of our students.
Right now, it's our time to go out and find the rest of our story. We are giants. Let us live like giants.
Achieving form, textures, grace, meaning. It's good to live and work in such a place.
That's one of our, we did a series about eight of these 100-year celebrations video on TV and other places, social media this year. But that's my presentation. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Great to see you all. And if you need something from the College of Sequoias, let me know.
Thank you. Okay. 8.0, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any agenda item or other item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board before or during the governing board's consideration of the item. The board is not able to discuss or take action on any item not appearing on the agenda. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name.
School board, there are no public comments at this time.
Okay. 8.1, superintendent comments. We have
None at this time.
Okay. 10.0, K through 8 issues. 10.1, approval of Tulare County Office of Education Agency Agreement 260790 for 2025 through 2026 for educational resource services.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 11.0, high school issues. 11.1, approval of FHS Ag Department sheep AI events.
Motion.
Question, comment.
Okay, I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second with Alice Lopez with a comment or question.
I was wondering what AI they were gonna do with sheep. Now there's two different meanings to AI, so.
Right, so not artificial, this is artificial insemination with our ewes. We're gonna take a trip to Layton and potentially Exeter as well.
My question was, how are we doing on the recovery of the sheep that we lost, stuff like that?
We're currently working with our high school principal, Dr. Gonzalez, and Miss Audrey Westbrook, and trying to figure out the insurance piece portion of it to try to see if we can guarantee getting some funding back.
Some funding, or what do you think?
Well, it's an insurance claim.
I understand. So is there something we can do as a board to make sure that's taken care of and then reimburse later or something like that?
We'd have to look at the legalities of that, as far as,
Since we're gonna go to the artificial insemination, we
Yeah.
might need some sheep, maybe?
correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd have to look at the legalities when it comes to give the public
Okay.
funds.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Alice Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Okay, 11.2, FHS Student Athlete Sports Contract for discussion.
Good evening, Board President Gomez, school board members, Superintendent Mendez, community and colleagues. I just brought this forward, the student athlete sports contract for discussion. I know there's been a request to put something together along with our handbook to have something like a 2-page paper which each athlete gets at the beginning of their season and have certain items from the sports handbook on this page. So just open to discussions if you had any questions. We added some of the verbiage that was requested in the past.
Yes, I had a question. I know that one of the biggest concerns was students being allowed to participate in more than one sport. So, I know a lot of this stuff is, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say stuff, but anyway, a lot of this has to do what the student can't do, shouldn't do.
Correct.
But where is the portion where, the student is allowed to participate in more than one
That's-
sport, and the other part is what is the coach's responsibilities?
So 2 things. One, your question about being able to play 2 sports in the same season, that is in the student parent handbook on page 19. So that already exists on a 19-page. What you see there before you is really a condensed version of the handbook, and that's what's given to the students as they join the team. So the parents and community members could look at that 19-page handbook, and it has exactly for any student that wants to participate in 2 sports in the same season is there.
You
If you
said
look.
it's 19 pages?
It is 19 pages, correct, yes. It's a handbook, yes,
So what, may I,
yes.
so what I'm hearing is, to make it easy, going off of Dr. Gonzalez's point, if a parent, for whatever reason, does not read the 19 pages, and we're creating this contract to summarize it, if we can place maybe a statement there that delineates that the students can
It would
participate
be-
in 2 sports.
And it explains it very in detail, if a student would like to play 2 sports, the process to do that on page 19 of the handbook. And I recognize that this is only 2 pages, because this is only gonna be given when the student is joining that team, to recognize expectations of the team, expectation from the coaches. But the 19 pages, that would be too much to condense it into 2 pages. So that's why this went from individual ones to now uniform throughout all sports. That's what we had talked about before. So starting next year, all students in each sport will be receiving this 2-page, or it's really a page and a quarter. And also we had discussed in the past meetings about having an addendum where a coach is gonna be able to put their own piece to that contract, and that addendum is actually there. That was discussed in the past. So it does exist, but if we were gonna put everything on the 19 pages, then we would do away with this contract and actually just have parents sign the 19-page student parent athlete handbook and return that. So this makes it, these are the highlights of the communication with the parents, but the handbook exists on our website, it always has.
On the website?
On our school website, it's on there, it has existed for years. Yes, and that supersedes this contract. So if there's something that's on this contract that's not on that handbook, then the handbook supersedes it. But this actually was created with the athletic director, all the coaches coming together and using verbiage from that 19-page handbook.
I think it would be very helpful if the coaches actually have at one of their first meetings a go-through of the 19 pages, because I'm pretty sure that a student, a parent, they're not going to want to sit there and read 19 pages of the handbook if only they're looking for specific things. I may be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking, and we'll see if anybody else has the same opinion or.
If I could add to what you just mentioned, for example, in the student parent handbook that's not there, it talks specifically about grades and criteria to be on any sports program. So again, there's lots of information for parents and students to sit together and recognize what is expected from Farmers United School District to be participating in a sport. However, this is just now a page and a quarter contract, if you will, or given to the students compared to what was given the last couple of years, which was an array of contracts, if you will, one-pagers. So this became a page and a quarter with addendum and understanding. So I understand the question, but the question that would be asked is, from the 19 pages, do we move forward and just have the parents sign that handbook after it was been read and they understand what everything's in there, to recognize all the expectations? And it is in English and Spanish, it exists.
What page do you believe that portion about a student playing two sports would be on?
Top of page 19, I read it. Page 19, yes. I've read it myself, yes.
Yeah, I think, at least I mean, not speaking for everybody else, but my thought was that we would have like one contract and would kind of explain, but I see how you're saying that 19 pages supersedes this one. Personally, I just wouldn't want somebody going, it was like, well, it's here, but it's not here, and then have a misunderstanding. It's like, but I signed this, and it wasn't there, and then we have to turn around and says, well, it's on the 19 pages.
And I think at the top of that document, it just states that.
Yeah.
Like the first line actually opens up and states that there is a student-parent handbook
Mhm.
on the website. So it does try to communicate that on the very beginning of that contract. So right from the beginning, it's trying to direct them, go look at the website if you would like to read. This is just really, I would like to say, like in a nutshell, these are the expectations for the athletes.
I think,
Mr. Alvarez?
I'm good.
okay. I think that an easy rule would be having the two coaches of the sport sign this same contract. I know you're talking about addendum, all right, which is the coach's own personal preference to doing something. But that's not what this contract is all about. Every coach is different. We're talking about a student wanting to play two sports. Both coaches know about it. They sign this contract. There's a dual contract. So you have one contract with two signatures, two coaches, you're done. They're all aligned with what you want and what you have on this contract. When you start separating and you're allowing the coaches to pick and choose and add things on there is where we have the problem. Okay, so we're not seeing that now. You're gonna add a bunch of stuff to this, because every coach is different, which means every contract's gonna be different.
So I would say, going back to every coach had their own contract, like there was a variation of them, as you guys know, for years and years here at Farmers Creek
Exactly.
District. Now we actually uniformed it, as we discussed, so now you see a page and a quarter that's the exact same language that all the coaches, as was discussed, will be using and signing. However, there was a presentation here where we talked about having an addendum, and that is what still exists there, where a coach is going to have a different sport. It says, oh, also, by the way, that it goes along with the 19 pages, is what I'd like to highlight, because every sport is very unique and different. So as a coach, you say, I'd like to highlight something from the 19 pages here on this addendum and such. So we went from a variety of all coaches having different contracts, if they use them or not, to this contract that was discussed just a few months ago.
Okay, so you're saying that, one, the parents are gonna have to read this 19-page contract, and now you're saying that the coach gets to add those things from that contract to this contract,
The addendum that was discussed,
which is all in the contract, it's in the handbook.
it's in a parent, yes. it's in
Okay,
the
so
handbook.
that's a done deal, but now you're saying they're gonna add things to this contract that they sign, which is specifically for their sport or whatever it might be.
That's why it has an addendum.
Exactly, and that's not what this contract is about, because every coach is different, and they can coach any way they want, right? And now you're going back to, what, 15 different contracts?
If I may interject.
Sure.
There's two basic points that I think that this contract would suffice, I think, what the board is asking. One, the interpretation, coach's interpretation of how many sports can they play. We all decided it was two. If they sign off and say this, they could play two sports. If a sport is in season, they get dominance, right? They get the opportunity. They become subverted if they are not in season. So they
No,
get
I
all the
think-
playing
Well,
time, they get the practice.
I think what he's saying is the same season, during the same season, a kid could play be participating in 2 or 3 sports in the same season, not throughout the year. So the conversation is, can a student be in 2 or 3 sports at the same time during the same season?
Exactly. And they can do two sports at the same time. So every fall, spring, every season, there's 2 sports that they can play. It's the same contract. That requires the coach's signatures on that contract, because now you've got you know, you got
So
15 different programs.
So I can add to that, the conversation about the two sports in the same season.
In the same season, it's the
Fall,
same
winter, spring.
contract, right? And it does say priority, it says priority in the CIF regulations, right? And priority is based on what? Because some say it's revenue, some say it's, you know, that's not the point, is it?
So here's what happens. Currently, at Farmersville High School, we have 3 students that played sports in the fall. The same 3 students played in the winter. So we're talking about this contract for 700 students with the same students played fall and winter this past season. In the past, that hasn't really been done. So we're discussing about adding something here to highlight something that's really not being done except for 3 particular athletes in this past fall and in the winter. Also, the conversation becomes, in the contract is, how do they take a priority sport if they're actually just playing but never getting to practice? So when you play 2 sports in the same time season, if we're talking about safety, how is a student going to receive the right training and practice so that athlete, he or she is safe, and also the teammates are safe? So that always becomes a bind where practices for one team is on Mondays, they play on Tuesdays, and they practice on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and the opposite is for another sport. So they never get to practice, they just get to show up to play, if you will. So that is always the challenge with having a student being in 2 sports at the same time. Increases injury. We had one athlete that got hurt, and then we have students that may walk away and not complete the sport. So that is why it's in the handbook that it's open to it, but having a meeting with the parents, the coaches that are participating in those 2 sports, and the athlete to have that clear conversation ahead of time and understanding for their safety and understanding of the 2 sports.
Okay, so whose choice is it for a child to play 2 sports?
I think that's why it should be a conversation with a group of
No,
people.
I'm asking you, whose choice is it? Is it the coach, or is it the parent and the child?
I think it's gonna be the parent,
The
the
child.
child, the coaches and the athletic.
No, it's the parent, and the child. It's not the coach. They're the ones that make the decision, CIF regulations, period. Okay, now, you said there's only 3 people that play dual sports?
To my understanding, it was 3.
And in this past year, we've probably had 7 or 8 kids play 2 sports at one time. And these are in the sophomore and junior, so I don't know what you're talking about. But if we don't have these kids playing, then we don't have enough for a JV team. We don't have enough, the girls' soccer, if they didn't play 2, wrestling and soccer, we wouldn't have had a JV team. Okay? So same thing with softball. All right, very limited amount of kids coming out. Cheerleading is not considered a sport unless it's in competition, but they're cheerleading, so it's an event, it's not considered a sport. You're talking 18 hours a week. That's what's required or is allowed in sports, 18 hours, which is 4 days, 4 hours a day. And it's a fact that if children play dual sports, they become multitaskers and they improve. They don't get worse, they improve. And these are the kids that are serious about sports, okay? So I understand what you're saying, but that's not what's happening here. If we cut this off, the children are only allowed to play 1 sport during the peak season, we're gonna lose JV teams. That's what's gonna happen.
So let me interject real quick. We're not gonna cut down the opportunity. CIF regulation that allows students to participate in 2 sports. My recommendation is to add that piece in this extra, not the 19-page, but the page and a quarter.
It's the second
that
signature
states-
for both coaches approving it, period. And
Right.
that's what you.
So if it
discussed.
is 3, 8, 20, or all 400 students that are participating in 2 sports, both coaches have an understanding, they've signed, and they're in agreement.
And I understand that coaches are saying, well, mine is priority. But when you look at the whole CIF regulations, nobody is priority. The coach is like, I'm priority, so you can't go practice over there, because I am priority. That's not the case.
I think it's more like how do we prepare and train them for the match or the game if they're not showing up to practice.
Exactly, and the practices are at different times, whether it's wrestling or soccer or softball and volleyball. All right, one practice after the other, it's still no more than 4 hours a day. In many cases, it's less than that. But that's the regulation is 18 hours a week.
We will follow the CIF regulation of allowing our students. I think we all agree to that. Let's make sure, this is a great discussion. We're allowing a lot of information to be shared. We'll sit back and talk about things that we need to add. onto that contract.
Yeah, and like I say, a second signature by both coaches, one contract, period. We're not gonna make another contract, because now both coaches have to sign that contract. It should be one contract. If it's one sport,
This contract is, again, back to the parents that sign it, so the student would get two of their own particular sport, back to the addendum piece. So then the student and the parents are signing this. The coaches are gonna receive this.
and the
they're gonna
student
follow
and
through.
the student and the parents are the one that gets to choose, not the coach. The coach can't tell a child or a parent where their child can play or not. That's not the way it's written. The parent gets to choose, and the child gets to choose, right? And I know it says in here that it's not a right, but guess what? It is a right. If they're following everything and following procedures and the grades are up like that, it is their right to play a sport with no restrictions.
And no one's denying them to play this.
Okay,
sport.
well-
So what we could do is, again,
Well, this is a great discussion point. We
Right.
can sit back, we're getting information from the board. We'll sit back together with our athletic director and and talk about this further.
okay, absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Espinosa, do you have any questions or any comments on the discussion?
I think it's a great start. You know, I know the discussion's been brought up, and this is our first draft of it, so it's perfect. You know, just to begin it, get the ball rolling in the direction we want to go in. And so I think as a board, we'll take it back for us. We'll review it, add some things we think it's missing, and then make changes as needed.
I appreciate that.
So I just wanted, my only question is on the student parent. Is it a separate, so I know at the beginning of the school year, I have my student parent handbook that I have to read and I sign off. That's what gets my kid extra credit and points.
Yeah.
But is this a separate portion or is this part of the student parent handbook? The student parent athlete handbook? Is it a whole separate 19-page book?
From what you have in your hand?
Well, what you had mentioned, that on page 19 of the student parent.
I think Sabrina's asking if parents at the beginning of the school year, do they get the contract, or is it something the parent has to go online?
Thank you.
And actually download it and read it?
Offer some context of why we got here. We got here because every coach had an individual contract with individual terms and expectations. That's
Yeah.
what got us here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah.
So I think what you're saying is the student parent handbook is online and that
Mhm.
exists. This is derived from that.
Oh, so it's
but-
a whole separate,
But it's.
Online.
But it's like, we didn't, yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
pulled
yeah,
information from
qualifications,
there.
so-
Okay.
so-
But it's,
Okay.
it's 19 pages that gives a lot more details
Uh-huh.
than a 2-page can.
So
And
if a parent wants more information, they have to look for it. It's not that it's provided to them.
That's in
Or
there.
they're provided a guide.
They
If you want to
probably
look, you have to,
find it, correct,
where to
yeah.
go to find
I
it.
think
Okay.
we just tell parents, you know, it's on
Yeah.
our student parent handbook, it's all on our website, so they can read all the 19 pages if they choose to.
Yeah.
If they have specific questions, right? However, this is more like a condensed version again of what already exists, and that's kind of a collaboration between all the coaches and the athletic director and such, to bring it down to a page and a quarter, because I know there's a little information in the back.
I think the biggest problem that we've had is coaches saying you can't play another sport. You do, you're off my team. That's not acceptable. I'm just saying that right now. This is what we're talking about. All right.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'll put my thoughts together on this part, because I know as they go into high school and they're having to do physicals and sign all kinds, do concussion stuff and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we're able to put something in there as well, that way parents have, a quick access to it. I don't mind reading a 19-page thing if it gives me every single information I need to know when it's laid out, but I do get, some people might not do that, so. But I appreciate this.
Yeah,
I
this
think-
big piece was to guarantee that
Yeah.
that students could play and participate in 2 sports in the same season.
And I think
This was the original.
I think the biggest part of this is that they understand if they play 2 sports, they're not gonna be first string, the second string. They understand that. So they're learning about everything. So it is what it is, but let's give them a shot, right? All right.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez.
Okay. All right, 11.3, approval of FHS Girls Golf Banquet at Six Flags Magic Mountain on May 2nd, 2026 at Valencia, California.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 11.4, approval of World U.S. History AP training on July 6th through 9th, 2026 at San Diego, California.
Motion.
I have a motion by John Alvarez, a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Okay. And now it's time. 11.5, Farmersville High School Highlight Report.
Good evening, Board President Gomez, school board members, Superintendent Mendez, community, and colleagues. My name is Jesus Gonzalez. I'm the proud principal of Farmersville High School. And with me this evening, I have our ASB president, Adrian Mejia, who's going to do all the heavy lifting for me. I'm going to be the clicker for part of this presentation, and he's going to be reading out some of the great accomplishments and highlights that have been happening at Farmersville High School this past semester. So with that, I'm going to pass over the microphone to Adrian, who was revving to go earlier as you guys saw him coming up. And I'll just kind of stand out of the way.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent, and Farmersville community. My name is Adrian Mejia, and I'm the ASB president here at Farmersville High School, and I'm proud to stand before you tonight to share some of the incredible achievements and firsts happening at Farmersville High School. It has been a historic season for our students, and the energy on campus is higher than ever. In our music department, history was made this year at the CMEA Festival in Porterville. For the first time in FHS history, the Aztec Band, under direction of Mrs. McIntosh, earned an excellent rating. This milestone represents a new level of artistry for our school. Additionally, for our guitar program, saw an unprecedented success at Fresno City College Guitar Summit. Under the leadership of Mr. Nelson, our students swept the competition, placing first in all 4 categories: advanced guitar for large ensemble, our senior quartet for the small ensemble, Martin Cedeno for his solo performance, and Grupo Cuatro Instantes for Sireno. Our career technical education programs have also been making waves across the region. Our culinary art students, led by Mrs. Wyatt, showcased their skills at the Tulare Kings County Culinary Competition. They walked away with 3 out of 4 top honors and brought the traveling trophy home to FHS. Meanwhile, our video production students earned 2nd place at the College of the Sequoias Career Expo for their documentary, and veteran cameraman Oscar De Leon, providing our students are ready for the professional world of media. The FFA program continues to be a point of immense pride for our district. 18 students recently attended the state conference, where 2025 graduate Sara Garcia was awarded a $1,000 scholarship from the Golden State Ag Foundation. Ramon Munoz was also selected as an Ag Ambassador, a prestigious honor given to only 2 members per region. We are equally proud of the leadership shown by many students who have served as official delegates and the Courtesy Corps members alongside their advisors, Mrs. Westbrook and Ms. Ortiz. Looking ahead, we are expanding opportunities for our students to enter the workforce. Following the launch of our CNA pathway this year, we are excited to announce that we will be launching an education pathway this coming fall. To support these goals, we recently hosted a college and career event on campus, welcoming over 30 representatives and hearing from ABC 30 reporter Cassandra Gutierrez. And officially, this Saturday, we celebrated our junior-senior prom at Merriman Station with the theme of the Enchanted Forest. Students, including me, had a great time dancing and laughing with friends. Even a few staff members joined in on the dancing. One that I would like to highlight is Mrs. Senora Vasquez. She was amazing. This is what high school is all about, building fond memories with our fellow Aztecs. On the behalf of our student body, I want to thank the board, our community, for investing in these programs that allow us to shine. It is truly a great time to be an Aztec. Thank you.
And with that, I'd like to show just a short 2-minute video just to highlight some of the great things happening at Farmersville High School. Sometimes it's great to be read to, but also to get to see it live on a video kind of helps and such. So our video students put this together for all of you to enjoy. Let's try this again. Sorry, yeah. I was already revving to go. There we go. All right. And that's our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Take care, Adrian.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Hey, always a pleasure. Gracias.
Qué educación.
Is this it? Will he be back next? Are you not coming back?
That's a cultural beauty there. Making sure you shake everybody's hand.
Thank you. Okay, 11.6, DCA Student Leadership Group Presentation.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Mendez, friends and colleagues. I'm going to try to read this without my glasses. I have my notes on here. Two members of our DCA leadership team. DCA leadership team group would like to present to the board their recent accomplishment. Along with our little friends at Freedom Elementary, this group was selected by the Tulare County Office of Education and was awarded the TCOE Step Up Award. Their services included making numerous blankets, handmade blankets for our local first responders to give out to families in need and kids in crisis overnight when they're making their calls, and a lot of those tough things happen, you know, after hours. So this team created how many blankets? 120. How many? 120 handmade blankets. They presented them to the local responders, like I said, first responders, and through those efforts, they were awarded a $1,000 award to Deep Creek Academy through the Step Up Award process. So my boys worked really hard. How many members in the entire team? Students put in our leadership team? So these two gentlemen are representing the entire team tonight, and they would like to take a picture with the board with
Absolutely.
Yes.
with their
Absolutely.
award. And this is Wesley and Jesus.
Wesley and Jesus, can you guys come front and center, por favor, please?
Could we hold the check?
blankets.
I'm joking, you guys are good.
So on behalf of Farmersville Unified School District, we'd like to present our students and our principal, Mr. Villarreal, with a pin. Significance, you will pin this on your heart. Once an Aztec, always an Aztec. Once a dragon, always a dragon, huh? Here we go, Farmersville Unified School District. Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Zamora.
We're good?
Thank you. All right, now we have everybody in the picture. One more. All right. I'll make sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey, by the way, those blankets are pretty amazing. I gave them to my team, and they have been handing them out to the community, and they do like them.
We're gonna do another round. We got a request for a whole new go-round, so we purchased a bunch of supplies and we're gonna start that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. 11.7, approval of choir field trip to California State University, Fresno concert on May 3rd, 2026 at Fresno, California.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.0, curriculum. 12.1, dual language immersion program presentation. This is the annual update report.
Good evening, Board President Gomez and board members, Mr. Mendez, and community and colleagues. My name is Analilia Grin. Ooh, what happened? And I'm the program specialist for English learners, dual immersion, and AVID programs. So back in 2018, back in 2018, the community was interested in having a dual program, invest in dual program here at Farmersville. So this is the presentation that will prepare our students to become productive members of society and innovative leaders of tomorrow, being a dual student, bilingual, biliterate. So the program is anchored in the three guiding principles of dual immersion. The three pillars are bilingualism, biliteracy, and cultural competence, which helps students understand the language. So young minds are malleable, they can absorb new things. It also enhances the mental and intellectual development of the student, and it develops a broader understanding of diversity. So we started with the 90-10 model in kindergarten, and that was in 2018-2019, the school year. Then we moved on to the 80-20 in first grade, 70-30 in second grade, and this year we started with the 50-50 model. So before that, third grade was a 60-40, sorry, 70-30, and then fourth grade was a 60-40, and then we moved to the 50-50. And the reason was to make sure that we had all our learners being able to capture both languages and being ready for the California State test as well, and having them gradually introduced into the English language as well. So the curriculum focuses on using maravillas in Spanish and wonders. Next school year, we're going to be focusing on adopting the new ELA curriculum. This, for math, this year we are in the process of piloting the Envision math curriculum, which is a new curriculum that we'll be adopting. Science has a twig, and social studies, My World. All of these core contents also have the Spanish books and consumables. Enrollment in family community engagement. Every student from Farmersville, starting kindergarten, are eligible to enter into the dual immersion program. After first grade, there is a process. If the student and parents are interested in going into dual program, they get assessed to see how much the Spanish they have in order to succeed. Because the dual immersion program focuses on students coming in with the Spanish already in place, but building upon that Spanish, just like in English. They're building upon the English like in the shelter English instruction. Priority is given to family members that already have siblings in place in the dual immersion program. It is a commitment that we require parents to understand. It's a 6-year commitment for the student to be in the dual language program, because the reason it's 6 years is we want to make sure that they have the supports at home and at school to make the student successful in both languages, and it's very important. Sometimes parents feel that their student is not learning as quickly because they don't see the other language come in play, but as you will see in the couple of slides, the languages come parallel later on as the grade advances. And there is a wait list for in case because we only offer 2 sections per grade level of the dual language program. So as you see here, we have attendance. The green is a dual language program, and the purple is a regular EO program. And the last 3 years, our attendance has been very high in the dual immersion program. This is an example of our acceleration in reading. They come in low with Spanish, but as the grade progresses, you will see that it grows consistently throughout the grade. And by 4th grade, some of the students are reading a grade level beyond an EL student. In math, you can also notice that students, because they're learning both languages, our benchmarks are being constructed to become bilingual as well. That means that the questions are both Spanish and English. It is not the same question. It might be the same type of operation, but it's worded in the different language. Same concept, but different story math problem or text passage, depending on the level. So in 2nd grade, our dual learners are doing consistently outperforming our English learners. And you can see throughout the grades 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So they're moving consistently and increasing in their both languages. Here's an example of the ELA for 4th grade. 3rd grade, it begins the CAS testing for ELA. And in 4th grade, you can see that the reading is outperforming our EOs, as well as in 5th grade and 6th grade. So we started with having informational meetings with the community when the program started. Word of mouth, making sure parents understood the program. And still, to this day, word of mouth by the teachers, parents that are interested in coming in are able to speak to teachers, are able to speak to me, explaining the process. And if the student is in the program for those 6 years, our goal is, by the end of the educational career here in Farmersville, that they will be able to become bilingual, biliterate, and be recognized by the state of California with a state seal of biliteracy. And I believe this is the 1st year or 2nd year that is also going into the college level. Students will be recognized. If they're recognized here at the high school level, then they can move on to the college or university, and they're also recognized there as well. Any questions?
No, I'm just very thankful, grateful that this has been a success. This is one of the things that I advocated for years before it actually happened, because I had seen successes in other districts. So unfortunately, I couldn't get my great-granddaughter to want to do this. So that's, because we're losing our Spanish too.
Yes,
You know, I know it's good for the brain thing, but for our community where they need to speak to their great-grandparents and so forth, we're losing it. We're losing our language, and it's nice to be able to have this as another way to promote it, you know, because at home, they don't want to learn it from their parents. So this is great, and, you know, the benchmarks that are being made with this program is just amazing, so thank you.
thank you. We do have some testimonials from parents, from fourth grade parents, where they share the same concerns, having that communication with the grandparents and losing that connection. And now with the program, they're able to speak and communicate with their grandparents.
So I do have a question on, so the statistics that you provided, those are for Farmersville kids, right?
Just farmers.
So my son is in 6th grade, so he started since he was in kindergarten on the bilingual. So same thing with my parents, I don't speak English, and I'm terrible because I don't speak to my kids in Spanish as much as I should. So my son became the translator for the rest of them whenever they're at, you know, my parents' house, and they absolutely love it. So definitely very grateful that he does know Spanish. He knows more than we pretends to know, but definitely very appreciative of it. Thank you.
I know when I first got on the board, the teacher that we went to Fresno before this program started, she was at the Hester School. What's her name? Started the dual language.
Oh, Miss Valdez?
Yes, we went down, me and my wife went down with her. We thought it was great, and you can see what the kids do when they're challenged. 2 languages, it's like everything in this world. The more the better, and then all of a sudden you open up inside that child and they do better.
Yes.
They do higher grades. It's a challenge, but that's what this is all about. And I appreciate all the hard work, and now we can see what's happening. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you said we have high school kids who will be recognized possibly by the state of California and get the seal. Does that mean that this program has been going on so long that we have kids in high school now who went through the whole program?
No, this is our first cohort of 6th grade students that started kindergarten back in 2018, 2019. The program itself has been in place longer in other states that already have the state seal of biliteracy. Students at the high school level right now can acquire a state seal biliteracy if they show proof that they're able to read, write, listen, and speak in Spanish by taking the AP Spanish test and having a certain GPA in order to become recognized as bilingual.
Okay, so then our first class right now, since we've started the program, are in 6th grade?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Thank you. Everything, I mean, just thank you for everything that you do, and the program is amazing. I love it. And that's it. They've said it all.
Much thanks to all the teachers that started the program. I was on the side looking in, even though my background is in dual immersion.
Yeah.
I did not have the privilege to work here at Farmersville, but I did work at other districts as a dual immersion. And just the love of learning new languages is beneficial, not just to us, but to everyone.
Yeah.
It opens the doors for a lot of things.
So many things,
For a lot of
yes.
things, yes.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to let you know that the dual language master plan is in its works. It's on a draft form.
Okay.
And so that will be coming up to you guys pretty soon. And then the English learner handbook as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Graham. Thank you for continuing to foster growth in Farmersville. Thank you again.
Thank you. Okay. 12.2, approval of contract with Solution Tree Caps Network.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.3, approval of Tulare County Office of Education Agency Agreement 260850 for special services.
Motion?
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.4, approval of memorandum of understanding with Tulare Office of Education Agency Agreement 260512 for letters training from Educational Resource Support Services.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Merced Zamora and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.5, approval of 6-year K through 12 Savas Envision plus math adoption.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.6, approval of University of California Merced Center for Educational Partnerships Student Information Agreement 2026 through 2027.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 13.0, personnel. 13.1, approval of certificated personnel, item 13.1.1 through item 13.1.3.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
School Board, at this moment, I'd like to formally introduce Dr. Jose Garza as the principal of Farmersville High School. Please come on up, sir.
Good morning, Board. Good evening, Board President Gomez, Board members, Mr. Mendez, and community. It's really humbling to be here in front of all of you. I always think about a great quote that I've remembered. It's about daring to disturb the universe and hearing all of the great inspirational stories about your students, about your staff. That's something that we need to keep at the forefront in all of our students to instill that they can disturb the universe and change opportunities for themselves. My journey started as a second language learner, and it continued on in Kern County, and I continue to excel. I've always remembered being that student that did not have the opportunities, but I wanted to create those opportunities for students around me. So I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to the hard work, but challenging work, and building the community with all of you and working with you in serving our students and families here, because they are the ones that can change the generations to come.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Well, I hope we don't scare you off.
He's already in for the door.
Welcome to Farmersville, and I'm pretty sure that you will do great here.
Yes.
Thank you. I certainly hope so.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
Our bark is bigger than our bite, so we're good.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Yes.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Jose
Thank
Garza.
you. Look forward to it.
Okay, 13.2, approval of classified personnel, item 13.2.1 through item 13.2.3.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 13.3, approval of extracurricular activity, coaching personnel, item 13.3.1.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstain?
I have a 4. Is it 0-1? Thank you. 13.4, personnel action report, information only. 13.5, sunshining of the bargaining proposal from the Farmersville Teachers Association, CTA, for the 2026 through 2027 school year, information only. 13.6, Acknowledgement of the district's initial proposal to the Farmersville Teachers Association, CTA, NEA, regarding collective bargaining agreement negotiations for 2026 through 2027 school year.
Is that supposed to be?
Yeah.
informational?
It's an action.
Okay.
Oh, forgive me for that. It's an action item.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez. Do I have a second?
Second Merced.
Okay, and a second by Merced Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 13.7, final action on resolution and decision not to reemploy classified employee for the 2026-2027 school year due to lack of work and/or lack of funds.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 14.0, board business. 14.1, consideration of any item any member of the board wishes to have on a future agenda or provide a written update. Ms. Lopez,
Not on the agenda, but if we can make sure that we get, everything calendared and a copy provided to us. I know that things are going to be, really getting impacted on our calendars from different sites, so I'd like to attend as much as possible, but if I don't know what's happening or if we have conflicting things, it's difficult.
I can have a quick discussion to that piece. Internally, Mrs. De Leon and I have agreed to make sure that there is an email and a calendar invite to every single school board member. I understand that the emails, sometimes the emails aren't read, but if it's a calendar invite, it'll appear on your calendar as a reminder. So that's gonna be our practice from here forward. As things are coming in, we're gonna be inviting the school board.
thank you.
I will still be giving you your calendar of events starting in May. Through the end of the year, it changes every week depending on what occurs, but, you know, I give you that every week to show you what's showing up from now to the last day of school.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, just something to add, just because I know that May and June are going to be very busy months, so appreciate it, thank you.
Just a time schedule for the cafeteria, how we're going, when possibly breaking ground, things of that nature.
For me, I guess, I would just wanna know, does everybody have a master's calendar for everyone? And, each department, how do they follow that master's calendar if they're scheduled? And just seeing if we're executing appropriately, with each department?
I'll do a quick summary on that. At the beginning of every school year, all the principals come together, all the directors, all the coordinators come together, and we map out. Mrs. De Leon does an amazing job of making sure that we map out the calendar monthly, and everybody puts in their dates. There are some times where things do conflict and they do change for whatever reason. We're getting a lot better every year. We're getting a little bit more finite on not trying to have as many changes, specifically towards the end of the year. What I have asked our principals, though, is if there is a change and they know it, immediately get a hold of Mrs. De Leon, who holds the master calendar, and guarantee that those changes are negotiated and worked on, and then we transfer that information to our school board.
And on that master schedule, would, say, work from custodial, would that be applied on that calendar so that way principals could accommodate? And could principals see, like, there's work going to be done on their campus or?
So principals lead that work. Everything goes through our principals. When we do a school dude, if they have events, they coordinate through school dude and Mr. Tony Melendez, all those work orders. We are working through some of those hiccups because there are some times, being as transparent as possible, where those things do not happen. But we have a fantastic team that works with Mr. Melendez directly to try to get things a little bit better.
Awesome. Good.
The expectation from our principals, they are the LEAs from the site, and they are the #1 advocates of guaranteeing that their sites are ready for whatever event, lunch on the lawn, whatever event that they have. And they do a very good job of working with Mr. Melendez and his team. Again, sometimes those things do not get accomplished, but they're working to guarantee that they provide the very best event for our parents and for our students.
Okay, good. Okay. I don't have anything, but I do want to say, we made it through April, and thank you guys. You're on the last month, and so we've got this. Stay strong.
Got 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. Things are starting to compress.
Okay. All right, we shall move on. 15.0, business services. 15.1, ratification, approval of agreement for relocatable consultation services, Mangini Associates.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor? All opposed? 5-0. 15.2, ratification, awarding Avila Cabinet Company contractor for Farmersville Junior High School Library countertop and shelving replacement.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez, a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 17.0, future meeting dates. 17.1, May 12, 2026, May 26, 2026. 20.0, adjournment to closed session at 8:12 p.m. 20.1, conference with labor negotiator GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep, agency designated representative, Manuel Mendez, name of organization, FTA, CSEA, management. 20.2, public employee, discipline, dismissal, release complaint, Government Code 54957. 20.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D2 and E of section 54956.9. One case. 20.4, Government Code section 54957, public employee performance evaluation, title superintendent. Thank you.
Gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much.
We are returning to open session at 9:31. Sorry. 21.0, action taken on closed session items. 21.1, conference with labor negotiator GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep. Agency designated representative Manuel Mendez, name of organization FTA CSEA Management, no action taken. 21.2, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, Government Code 54957, no action taken. 21.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D, 2 and E of section 549569, no action taken. 21.4, Government Code section 54957, public employee performance evaluation, title superintendent, no action taken. 22.0, adjournment, 9:32.
Second.
I got a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by John Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, Mrs. Alston, for sticking around as well.
Thank you.